Greetings everyone, and welcome to Cabin Fever Crochet. I'm Helene with a little slideshow for you today as we wind down 2023. It includes my makes for this year, and we'll get there in a little around the block sort of way as we begin in the small town of Chewelah, Washington, nestled near 49 Degrees North Ski Resort. Each year, early December, there's a holiday fair where I have been a vendor at times, but decided not to this year, although I went anyway to say hello and see what's new. This also includes Chewelah's Creative District, so those who may not typically be part of the seasonal farmers market participate in this as well. The weather was a little sketchy the day before, wound up snowing, and so there were less people and vendors there, but still just as enjoyable. Turned out to be a beautiful day, and this is Rochelle from Say It in Silver. She and her daughters are so talented and creative and always come up with something new, such as this cheese and knife board. This one says Spread Love on it. They have everything from earrings, bracelets, rings, hair accessories, necklaces, and I have a few of her pieces. Works out real well because she has a few of mine. And here are these adorable, beautiful reindeer ornaments, and everything is made from vintage silverware. Say It in Silver is on Facebook. They also do custom work, so here is her business card if you're interested and want to take a screenshot. I've also included links to everything within this video in the drop-down description section below. This year's theme is called Chewville, a take on Dr. Seuss's little town in The Grinch, with his big paws draping down over the balcony and showcasing even more vendors here, both up and downstairs. And here's none other than Mr. Grinch himself making an appearance, who I thought did a really great job. And here I am having a really nice visit with our terrific market manager, Brad, who helped make all of this possible. And then going back outside, to my surprise, I see one of our regulars wearing my Dreamy Beanie and cowl set that I made for her a couple or so years ago. I was so happy to see how well it's worn, and oh my goodness, she's just so beautiful in those colors. It's just stunning on her. And to get the thickness that she wanted, the color combinations, and the sparkle, I used superwash merino wool in 2 different brands, 2 different weights, 3 different colors, working with 4 strands of yarn going at the same time while changing colors to create this gradient effect every few rows. But I am so happy how it turned out, and even more so how much she loves it. And then earlier this fall, someone else had asked if I would be able to repair this beautiful and very special hand knit sweater that her aunt made her many, many years ago. She showed me the few areas that she thought needed repair, but once I got it home, held it up to the light and started working on it, every time I thought it was done, I would see something else and then something else, and areas there were holes and then fraying just from time and age. And there was separation in the seam, and the shoulder seam, the armpit, and then where the border at the base met the body of the work. And even on this top stitching, there were pieces that were lifting up. So I really took my time. I spent about 3.5 hours or so, and I just combed over that front and back and inside and out to be sure I got everything, and reinforced areas and where the yarn was starting to unravel too, and was able to connect that. And I hardly have any red. I rarely work with red for some reason, and the only one skein that I had matched this perfectly. And it's really hard to tell. It doesn't show up on camera very well, but the white thread has beautiful gold metallic running through it, and there is so much dimension. I wish I had taken before pictures so you could really see what I'm talking about. But the funny thing is, or ironic thing, is that hand sewing is probably one of my very least favorite things to do, and I felt a little daunted by it at first, but once I got going, it was so satisfying to just put this back together and bring it back to life and give that back to her so she could enjoy it and wear it not only through this holiday season, hopefully for many, many more years to come. And it is 100% wool and such a labor of love. The amount of work that went into this is phenomenal. Now we're going to rewind to the beginning of the year with my Dewdrop Bactus kerchief style scarf or shawlette. I love making this so much. It's one of my favorite patterns. Can't seem to get it out of my system yet. And I have made quite a few, and they work really well in a variety of types of weights and fibers. And here's one more I started in a lighter weight number 3 yarn Baracco Pima soft cotton for someone in a more moderate, warmer weather climate. And I featured this yarn as part of my yarn travel series number 1, and I do have 2 or 3 more coming in the near future, so I hope you will look forward to those too. And now going into mid-March of 2023 already is my Daydreams beaded shawl. You can work it with or without beads, looks fine either way. The yarn, the shawl on the left is a discontinued silk blend from Hobby Lobby, just working from my stash. And the one hanging in pastels is Lion Brand Ferris wheel yarn, and that's a bit of a roving yarn. It's acrylic and it has a lot of nice texture and really pops those stitches quite a bit, which already creates a lot of dimension. And how about a great big thank you to Karen in Texas for sending in this photo so we can all enjoy and appreciate her beautiful work and creation of this shawl in my Daydreams pattern. She made this as a gift, worked in Hobie yarn in a very fine weight. Ah, don't you just love the first signs of spring? It's like a breath of fresh air, especially if you're in an area where you have really cold or long and hard winters. And before you know it, it's May with Mayflowers. Mayflowers scarf, that is, looking good with or without fringe. This was another really fun one for me to both design and make and share with you. And I called it Mayflowers because going up one side it looks like tulips, and then coming back down the other side, lily of the valley. Then come mid-May, market season is in full swing, and it's such a fun time to be there. And although I did scale back quite a bit last year, still kept me very busy just trying to keep up with that and everything else. So I didn't have much time to bring out new tutorials over the summer, but I did have a series of my crochet bestsellers, my display booth, how I revamped it as you can see here, and one where we met all the vendors and gave you a tour of the market itself. And here's just a little sampling of some of the other arts and crafts that I do. And are you into other things besides crochet yourself? Oh, and I got back into macrame just to see what I remembered. Hadn't done it since back in the 70s, and it was just like riding a bike. So that was really fun playing around, and another excuse to buy more supplies. I also have some hair sticks in a variety of styles that do really well and can double as shawl pins. I do plan on making more jewelry going forward into the new year, and pretty soon start adding some of these items in my Etsy shop along with my written patterns that are already there. As summer progresses and the wild roses around here go into full bloom, it's then time to get out and do some other things in the area, like one of our favorite spots, Green Bluff. Above Spokane, spectacular views of the area. This is a series of co-ops and growers with produce. Some you can pick yourself, and we just love going cherry picking. Nothing like fresh cherries off the tree. My new favorite are the Vans. They're kind of a cross between Bing, but oh my goodness, they're so rich and have so much depth with that little poop ping to them also. And there's a lot of neat places around, not only a variety of produce throughout the entire season and then going into fall, but places where you can stop, have a bite to eat, and do a little gift shopping too, enjoying the beautiful drive and scenery all along the way. And one of my most favorite things to do is take my crochet with me on location and spend as much lake time as possible, where I also like to film taking you on location along with me. So I hope you'll look forward to that this next year too. One crochet project last summer that I did manage to get to was updating my Shore Thing bucket hat, as in Lakeshore, and I finally got a written pattern for that up also. I don't know, this is just like a throwback to my childhood, and I always feel like a little kid when I wear it. And another big thanks out to Tia in beautiful upstate New York for sending in these pics of the bucket hat she made. Turned out so super cute and gives me that feeling of wanting to hit the beach right now, even with snow on the ground. Oh, but then the seasons change, and here comes early fall, winding down the farmer's market and getting back to crocheting, enjoying the beautiful changing colors and all of the inspiration that brings. Developing into my Daydreams slouchy hat, which was also inspired by my Daydream shawl, taking the stitch pattern that I came up with and creating something entirely new. This hat does work well in a couple of different weight yarns and for a variety of climates. Now I did get to working up the matching infinity scarf or cowl, just not to the tutorial yet, so maybe in the spring, I don't know, I shall see what life brings and go from there. Next up, still going into fall, was my versatile and easy table topper. As you can see here, I worked in autumn colors, but you can make it for any time of the year you like in either this more squared version or a more elongated rectangle, such as the one that Nadine in Mississippi made here. Turned out so cute. Love her color combinations and table display. Here's another one that I started in spring and summer colors. I'm going to make long enough to put on my coffee table. It's not finished, no border hasn't been blocked yet. Just giving you an example how I created my own gradient yarn, busting through stash with some Lion Brand Comfy Cotton Fetty yarn, and how different something can look using different types of yarn and weight. Here's my most recent design, the Starlight shawl, and can be worked in more mid-size, such as I'm wearing, or a fuller size. And I just really enjoyed creating this and how it worked up. It's just always so nice when something I picture in my mind and envision works out just the way I wanted it. And the blue combination is an Arcane Fiberworks, their DK weight, and the neutral shawl is mostly in Caron Simply Soft. All of the info is in the tutorial and the written pattern. Well, I had really hoped to have one or two more tutorials and patterns for you before the end of the year, but since I wasn't able to make that happen, I thought I would revisit the end of 2022 and share with you the photo of the incredible blue moon that evening, which goes along with my blue moon scarf. Another one of my favorites to make. I had a lot of fun designing it with two different stitch patterns that create a really comfy and cushy texture, and another one of those that works up pretty quickly too. Well, my fiber friends, that's a wrap for today's episode and 2023. I wish for you and your family many blessings, good health, and happiness. I look forward to seeing you in 2024. Take good care, and until then, Happy New Year and beyond.